So Finn and Jake set out to find a new home. It's gonna be tough for a kid and a dog on their own. Here's a little house, off and sticking his foot in. Well, that's a bad idea, dude, cause now that bird thinks you're a jerk, Finn.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Crastinators podcast. I'm the best guy ever. Yeah, you said it, buddy. Hey, what's up, Davu? You're here.
Shippity boop poop.
Allegedly. Munchie is here.
Hey, yo, my fucking shitty ex-wife repoed my entire house besides this tub I bought in 1999. So now I'm recording this entire episode for my fucking tub because my shitty-ass, bitch-ass ex-wife took out all my fucking eyeballs.
It's the challenge of our generation. Ben Saint is here.
That's my name. Oh God! No shit! Oh no, I'm good. Well, let's keep going.
Good. And Digibro's here.
Hell yeah, nigga, reppin' that well-laid and well-paid Maslow get blown the fuck out.
Before we get into the episode itself, so at the end of the last episode, as you probably heard, it's been a week since then, as it happens, and so at the very end of last episode, we talked about the new PCP merch that is available right now on 2 locations. We didn't give any URLs. We didn't say what websites it went because that was still up for debate at the time, sort of. But it's all settled now, people. So I'm going to give you 2 links you can go to buy official PCP merchandise, okay? Mm-hmm. Here's the first one. Redbubble.com/people/procrastinators. This is all going to be in the description, but it's there. There you can buy. It's going to be, there's the main PCP logo. You can get that on everything, shirts, mugs, whatever the fuck you want. It's all there. They got a million things on Redbubble. Go buy that shit. And the other thing is on, we've got a print all over me thing, which are the shirts that Ben had made previously. Those are hosted there. They're a little fancier. They're more expensive, but they're
real
better
fancy.
quality.
They're all over prints. They're like luxury. They're like deluxe. You can just be swaddled in us, swaddled in PCP everywhere you go.
Basically, you won't look like you have a shirt that was obviously run through a website. You know, that's because most of those shirts, you can tell where the rectangle begins and ends, and it makes you think about the fact that it was obviously through a third-party fuck shit. So the print all over me thing is obviously supposed to make it not look like that. It's supposed to feel like a real shirt.
Print all over me shirts are real fucking swank and choice.
They're great.
Yeah.
They
These
really
shirts
are great.
are basically for fucking sultans only, and if you're not a sultan, then don't get it.
Exactly. And the Redbubble, there's a more pressing announcement here about this, folks. On the Redbubble site, in addition to the Procrastinators logo, it's not up right now, but I'm going to put this up like as soon as we're done recording. There will be a PCP Patreon thing, the Patreon PCP meme. That's going to be a shirt on Redbubble, and you can buy all the fucking items.
We need
that's
more.
going up, people.
We need more designs
that's going up
on the Redbubble. We'll make more in the future, but these are good.
We're going to expand
These
this.
are good.
But here's the thing. That's going up for exactly 1 month, and then it's going away forever, and you will never have it ever again. It's your only chance for the history of history to get this fucking shit. So you need to buy it right fucking now. There's no time to wait. You've only got 1 month.
You literally can't afford not to buy it.
Exactly.
This shirt or mug or fanny pack or bikini top will pay for itself 10 times over.
It's so true. And just as the old Patreon logo is going away, that's why this is going away. And it will be replaced with a vastly shittier new PCP Patreon logo that will be the only thing you can buy. So you'll be condemned to that fate. It will
truly capture and encapsulate the shittiness that is the new Patreon logo. We'll just distill it down to its shitty essence for you.
We're going to pay them extra to spit on every piece of merchandise that comes with. So, just gear up for that.
Guys, I'm going to level with you. If you don't get this, the classic PCP Patreon shirt, I'm going to make your wife barren. I'm going to take out her womb certificate, and she's not going to be able to bear your children.
There you go, folks.
I'm just going to level with you. Just going to level with you right now.
Redbubble's pretty... It's a good website. The shirts are actually pretty good there, too. But there you go, okay, folks? We open the store. You can stop asking. You now have PCP merch. It's real. It's official. Go buy it all. Now let's get into the actual episode.
Yeah.
Right? Homes and homelessness.
Homes and homestuck.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Wait, what do you mean this isn't the Homestuck podcast? Fuck it, I'm out of here.
I didn't even think of that connection. It's just going to be Homestuck the entire
never
time.
Even crossed your mind.
So here's the Urban Dictionary definition of homes, plural. Oh wait, no, this is terrible. Let's go. Okay, home. Here we go. Home. A place where I can poop for however long I desire. Here's the description. I had dinner at Taco Bell, and then I went home and spent the rest of the night on the crapper. Well, all right, that's fine.
Very descriptive.
Let's see what we've got for homeless. Okay, homeless. When one has exhausted all resources and reduced to the insane condition of toting a small travel bag, aimlessly riding buses, selling plasma, nodding out in public libraries, standing in welfare lines, eating in soup kitchens, walking in a dream, sleeping in shelters and parks, worrying about the next fix, and knowing that going to jail is a step up in the social ladder.
Jesus Christ, that was descriptive and accurate.
It was pretty accurate. I appreciate the thoroughness. All right, let's get into it. So who's got a home? Not. Ben's. Why is Ben here?
It's me. No, I live in a house now. I live in a house. It's
Jesus
amazing.
Christ.
He's moving up in the world.
I live in a house, and it's really nice. And you should all move to my city and be my real life buddy friends.
Yeah, before we go into this, first we should have a show of hands, or say I. Who all has lived in a house?
I.
Yeah. Okay. So
is that literally everyone?
I have not. I've only ever lived in an apartment.
Who has been homeless before in here?
What?
I guess not us.
Wait. Who's been what? Homeless?
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
You ever been homeless, Ben?
No.
Ben was a vagabond
Didn't you?
for a while.
I wasn't like
I was
couch
a
surfer or something.
No, I did travel across Europe for a couple months, but I did technically have a home in Poland. Like the room that I was staying at in Poland, I kept renting it for that time, but it was like such a shit pile that it cost me like $5 a day to keep it technically owning it. Or so I did technically have a home to go back to. I just was like staying in hostels for several months there.
Well, a home is where the heart is. So I would say that Ben is sort of an internal homeless man, just for the lack of substance within him.
Just for the lack of soul and general.
Because I have no heart to put anywhere. Therefore, I cannot have a home by definition.
It's a shame we don't
slightly
have
off
Jesse,
topic, but similar to that. My mother called me brutal the other day, and I just wanted
How is that related at all?
Like a general description
You're talking about how you had no heart. I just wanted to say it. I thought it was
important.
Right.
It is important, though.
Yeah, Jesse is the one who has been homeless for some period of time, living in his car, I think. So it would have been nice to hear from him, but he's dead, so what can you do?
Yeah. He's off celebrating his birthday. Everybody wish Jesse a happy birthday.
Oh yeah,
Jesse's a week ago when this is released.
Happy birthday. Okay, fucking Holmes. I hate not being alive. I think you can all agree I want to continue being alive, and homes are a great way to do that.
You do still have a unique perspective here. So you grew up in like an apartment or something?
Yep. I've never been in a house ever. Well, I mean,
I've been
inside of one. Yeah, but I've never lived inside of one ever.
So are we making a distinction between home and house here? Because
no,
we all have homes.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is a house is different than the apartment, and those are both homes. It's like an umbrella term. It's not like sandwich in that way.
Right.
Yeah. It's vague. It's like you don't know it. Like you can't define it, but you know it when you see it.
Exactly. But it is different because I'm not a houseboy, so I don't know the luxuries that come with owning a house.
How have you gotten away with being as loud as you are in an apartment?
Hey, yo, what do you mean, Digi? What are you talking about? I was quiet as they come, bro.
I moved into an apartment, 2 years ago or whatever, when I moved out to Cincinnati, and it's always been an issue having to be quiet when I'm recording shit,
now, granted,
for neighbors.
It's not just that you live in an apartment, but you also live in a shitty, rundown shack of an apartment. So that.
Oh, mine? Oh, yeah,
Who are you
that's
talking
true.
to? Because that's true for mine.
In this
as well.
case, it's me. I would bet money that mine is significally worse than wherever you currently reside.
Probably.
Mine is
probably.
I make it nice.
Do you get noise complaints, Munchie, at all?
Well, no. There was one time where someone threatened to call the cops just because they thought that I was literally dying.
Okay.
You better stop dying or I'm going to call the cops. How is that a threat? I don't.
Well,
you You know how it is. Oh,
you never want the cops involved because they've got guns. They will kill you with the sleighs.
To stop all your health problems.
Munchie's not quite white enough to be safe from that shit.
The thing about my neighbors is that I'm fairly certain literally every single one is a drug dealer. I'm fairly certain about this.
Well,
they're all up at weird hours of the night, and like the way my apartment's set up, there's like a window to my left here, and I can see into like a house that's next to the apartment complex. And that person always mows their lawn at exactly around 3 a.m. And also they look like they're like
how do they get away with that?
Yeah,
that's literally dark out. You cannot see what you're doing.
Yeah. Yes, I know.
Not to mention literally waking up everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I guess that's why Munchie doesn't get complaints because he just blends right in.
Yeah,
exactly.
Very true. And I know I've talked about
shitty. That's like the most like it would literally have to be entirely full of psychopaths for this to be able to happen. Like
I live. Yeah.
For not one person in the apartment to put a stop to it, that would be insanity.
I live in an apartment where it's like this. Like if I pay my rent on time, I'm like an exemplary tenant. I'm like way ahead of the curve here. So like when I get noise complaints, what they usually amount to, it's not like they talk to the manager or anything. I just get an intense pounding on one of my walls, and then I know it's time to be quiet.
There are shitloads of studies that show that like living in an apartment basically like deprives you of like humanity and dignity. Like, studies show that, like, people who live in apartments are 72% more gullible.
Gullible?
What are you trying to say about me, dude? Well, I grew up in a house, so I'm bringing class to this joint. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Were you trying to, like, hit us with a fake stat, and that was the joke, is that it's gullible?
Yeah, it's one of those gullibility jokes.
Well, I fell for it.
I didn't fall for it. Houseboy, baby. Only Munchie fell for it. Only the lowly
yeah, I looked up on the ceiling and it said, "You're adopted." Jesus Christ.
Okay, let's talk about this. Who aspires to be a homeless vagabond?
Me.
Pretty sweet.
Me.
You know,
I personally was always having grown up in a house and having only known people that lived in houses, you know, like a bunch of cucks. I always just assumed it was the thing that you do, you know, like going to college. Like, of course, it's just the thing that you do. But like going to college, later on in life, I saw what it's like. I saw what apartments are like, and I think I always was like, wow, why does anyone fucking bother with a house? Like, it seems like such a hassle when you can just pay some money and live in a place and not have to buy it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
It's like that classic
When I understood that I could just go out and just like get an apartment, I thought it was nice, and I was like, I'd be fine with this. I would be okay with this.
Well, the funny thing about it is, I think that the attachment to houses and everything is very much a good old American dream thing. Like it's very much our fathers and their fathers' generations' desire to like own their own land and be I am my own man with my own land and I can do whatever I want and I build this super beautiful house. But then the funny thing is they all follow like the same blueprint of what they want it to be. Like the idea is, I get my own place I do whatever I want with, and then you just make it look exactly like any other house that you saw in a fucking catalog or on HGTV.
I mean ultimately like home ownership, like it is like a better deal in the long run. So like I get
that's what I was gonna say.
So like I guess ideally, no, you don't want to live in an apartment forever. You like if you buy a house, like you save more money in the long run. But like if it would be like if all else being equal, like I don't mind the idea of living in an apartment. I think it's fine.
Let me sell you on this right now, because I don't really care about living in an apartment right now. Economically, it is fine with me to live in an apartment. But like, the recording thing is an issue, and I need a place to build a studio where I can record at any time I want to, and I know exactly what I'm going to get. There will be no disturbances. I need that. So, like, if you could, like, live in an apartment and, like, rent a studio, that's fine. But then you're just renting two things. Right. So, like, like Ben was saying, if you can get yourself a house and get yourself the exact kind of setup you want, with just what you need there and nothing extra. You're not wasting your money on $1 billion mansion or something. Just something with the essentials. That, to me, seems like really good. Plus the fact that you have your own space. If you can get a little distance away from other people, that seems nice. Yeah. But I just want the ability to do shit in my own place and not have to be concerned that I'm bothering other people. Like throw a party with a lawn or something. You know, just that seems like a nice thing to do sometimes.
I want to talk about that all-American in parentheses, dad dream of having a house, having your own land and stuff, is that statistically speaking, there's going to be a conflict of interest within yourself regarding time management. Because if you're that kind of guy, you're probably also a guy who works a lot, a guy who wants to make lots of money, right?
Yeah.
And in the case of my dad, right, he's really proud of this house that he's gotten for his family. He put a lot of work into obtaining the house, but he scarcely puts the amount of time that he knows he needs to put into maintain the house to keep it even slightly livable, because he's working all the time. My mom is always busy doing things, barely has time for anything, and I'm the same way. Like, I don't really like doing anything other than just focus on one single very specific goal of what is my job that makes me money, and I wish just everything else in my life just cleaned and fixed itself.
It's like they say, you gotta... What?
Did you just, like, put a fan next to your microphone or something? Like...
Well, there's been a fan on.
Oh, it just suddenly got really loud.
Oh.
How come Ben gets to have a fan on and I fucking don't, even though I need it more than he does because I live in California?
Ben lives in Atlanta.
It's real hot here. I'm gonna noise filter all of it out in the final recording.
Okay, Ben, you were quoting something. What was the saying?
I was just gonna say it's like, well, now it's not funny. I was gonna humorously subvert a common cliche and say, you know what they say, get busy working or get busy dying. But now the timing is off, and I would have been legendary. Would have been legendary.
Yeah, it would have been.
Anyways, yeah, with what Devu was saying, my dad is a big time house guy. He's we've owned several houses, never like paid one off all the way or anything, but the house I'd been living in up until just recently was a fucking gigantic house where we had RadCon. We'd been in there for 9 years. My parents have done countless fucking things to it, and they never stopped tinkering with it. And like my dad, basically the way he lives is like he works on weekdays and then comes home and he doesn't do anything to the house. But on all of his weekends, it's just like obsessive house maintenance. Like,
okay, let me
do everything I can to this house. But it's never like... he doesn't necessarily have the best priorities when it comes to fixing the house, because sometimes you gotta fix something that's broken. Sometimes you're trying to add something new on, and it's like this constant battle of, like, you want the new thing, but then the old thing's breaking down, and you just gotta, like, the house is never perfect. It's been 9 years, and the house is still far from perfect.
It's never fucking finished. Like, when I moved into this house for the first time a couple years ago, it was like, that was when I was full force making videos and stuff, so like, I was just spending all my time getting home from window cleaning and then working on editing, and it was literally almost a year before I started like seriously unpacking 80% of my fucking boxes, because it's just like, whenever do I want to do these mamby-pamby house maintenance things? I never get around to it. I just want to like, find a maid who I can really trust. You know, that's just all I really want.
That is exactly the right attitude. Okay, let me drop a red pill bomb on this. It's gonna offend lots of people who give a shit about their houses, despite the fact that I like the idea of having a house as just like a place you live in. All these people I see on like every day as I'm driving out. It's summertime. Everyone's out working on their lawn. They're out doing things. They're out fixing up shit. All these people spending on their time doing that shit, I see as people who have given up on their real dreams.
Yeah.
Like they are now filling the hole in their life with maintaining their fucking lawn and designing their house. Why don't you I spend my time pursuing like a second career full time. That's how I spend all of my life.
Yeah.
And when I just think about like how much time guys like, and this is my dad. I love my dad. He's the best man in the world. But when I think about all the fucking time he's devoted to caring for his goddamn lawn, I'm sure he really cares about it. But for fuck's sake, you could have literally built, like, he wants to be like a car sale, or not a car salesman. He was thinking about, during his life, starting a car dealership. I'm like, think about all the time you could have devoted into, like, the side dream you have had. You could have done that if you hadn't just worked on your fucking lawn so much. We need to consolidate work. We need to have specialists who go around entire towns. They're the ones in charge of maintaining the lawn. They're most efficient at it. They're the best at it. You tell them what you want, and we stop this shit about people maintaining their own lawns. It's a waste of time. Makes me mad.
The whole time sink aspect of it was like, it's always like, that's part of why I never was like, oh, an apartment doesn't sound so bad, because a house carries with it all this maintenance shit, and especially lawn shit. Like, if I ever did own a house, I would really be a big deal to me that there would be no lawn.
Like, you guys know the whole self-help, book for success tip of you are a bucket full of rocks, and you can fill yourself up with big rocks and small rocks. Do you guys all know this metaphor?
No, I've never heard.
Well, for those who don't, basically the idea is you're a bucket, right? Everyone's a bucket. Say it right now. I am a bucket.
I am
a bucket.
I am a cucket.
Yeah, and you can fill yourself up with fucking rocks, right? And big rocks are your dreams.
As
You know,
I do
wanting
normally.
to start a family, wanting to become a businessman, wanting to become a billionaire, trillionaire, whatever. Then small rocks are things like maintaining your lawn, or things like making sure like you're perfectly fucking shaved every day, or things like talking to each of your friends every day, right?
Yeah.
And the thing about rocks, the thing about like fucking physics and shit, is that if you put all the small rocks in first, there is barely enough room for big rocks. But if you put all the big rocks in first, the little tiny ass pebbles just find their way around. The little pebbles bounce in and out of the big rocks, and there ends up being enough room for everything if you put the big rocks in first.
Yeah.
And I remember my dad giving me this lecture, and he very much prioritizes his time like this. Like this is a man who was never able to get into video games, no matter how much they casualized themselves. The whole Facebook Wii generations came and went, and he was like, I can't find a video game that I can enjoy spending time with my family whilst playing, so I'm not playing video games, right? That's the only thing my dad will do. Anything that either promotes his business or helps his family are the only two things he can justify doing with his life. And I feel similarly. And
that makes a lot of sense, and I think that what I was going to say, after that point, is that I do understand that guys like my dad as well, like he clearly has his priorities straight, and for him, like doing the lawn stuff is, I think, a form of like relaxation. It's what he does when he's not, worried about his business or paying the bills and stuff. So like I get it, but I still see that as wasted time, and I don't care for it.
For me, that's washing dishes, working in the kitchen. That's my relaxation time.
Sure.
This is a coming at a good time. I just got my first place,
right,
and I've kind of found the perfect middle ground that does. Nate, this is what you need. You need a townhouse because it is the perfect interstice of everything you're talking about. Okay, so I was really worried when getting a place. Like, I was worried that an apartment would have the problem yours has of noise complaints. I work all night into the dead of night. I do podcasts. I do raps. I'm loud, and need to have space where, like, people aren't going to give me noise complaints constantly. A place like yours, I would not be able to do it. But, staying in some of the other apartments that I guested in, we got away with a little bit more loudness because they were just a little bit more open or had thicker walls and stuff, like just better apartments. And it made me realize, okay, it's not like I need to be an entire yard away from, someone else. I just need one that's like as a center of the house, whereas yours doesn't really have anywhere that's not surrounded.
Yeah, that's right.
So a townhouse, you have nobody above and below you, so that's taken care of. You've only got people on your sides. The way that mine is organized, they're not quite exactly directly next to each other on one side. So, like, I've got my office set up, and it's a split. So there's an upstairs and a downstairs, and, like, the way it's organized is perfect. Like, it's just big enough that I can do my recording in here. There's space for multiple people, but it's small enough that you can take care of it all really easily. Like, cleaning the whole house takes less than an hour because it's so fucking tiny. And I mean, like, deep cleaning it would take no time at all. But here's the best part. I've got a lawn, a front yard, and a backyard, and the townhouse takes care of it. Like, because it's all one giant yard that we all share. So, like, while there is a little chunk of it that's like, this is my yard, it's all just one big shared yard, and they just have yard maintenance people go around like every couple of days, and they even fucking mulch the shit. Like, they completely maintain the yards, like front and back. It's pristine at all times, and I never have to touch it. And that's so fucking important to me for exactly the reason you're describing. Like, I maximize all my time. This past week has just sailed by for me because all of my time has either been spent making videos or fucking my girlfriend. And those are the only two things that I want to be doing. I don't want to have to stop doing either of those to go fucking clean the yard for an hour.
I realize the real difference here between these guys like our dads and ourselves, and it's that at least in their later part of their lives when we knew them, when they're like established and they're all that shit, like they're now thinking of like they do have time in their lives when they choose to just not really do work. Like they have already put in the work. They have now made it. They've got a giant house, or they've got a house. They've got a family. It's time to relax a little bit. The hustle has been done.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I totally want that life. Like, I want to get to a point where I don't feel this constant pressure
I don't either.
to fucking make videos at literally all times, but I don't want to free that time up so I can mow the lawn. I want to free that time up so I can play a video game. That's all I want. For me, my big dream right now is that I can play a video game ever. That is my big fucking dream.
I never want to get to that point, because for me, life is struggle, and when the struggle is over, you might as well die.
Exactly. Okay, but I suppose there's a degree.
I feel like I want to have relaxation periods just because I see people who burn themselves out. Even if they have energy, they eventually like become hacks because they became artists every day, 24 hours a day, to the point that they lost their humanity and forgot. Which is why my plan, after I finish my freaking video game, is to then move to Atlanta and then be a friend guy who goes out with friends, and then like take a couple months off.
Ben,
I remember Friends.
Ben, I refuse to believe that you don't spend any time just like playing a video game for no.
No. I'm not saying there's no need for leisure ever, but I never want to hit a point where I'm like, I'm done with work. I won't pursue anything else. It's time to just relax. It's time to just take the rest of my life easy.
Oh, well, I think a lot of it is.
I mean this on more of a day-by-day basis. Like, what I admire is the ability to, like, okay, I worked for 8 hours, and now I get to play video games and not work. Like, that's not how I've been living. I've been living a 24-hour work cycle for the last year, you know? So
the people I admire most are those who minimize that kind of time.
Fucking your girlfriend doesn't count as work. I'm sorry to disappoint you.
Yeah. Well, that's my escape. That's my first escape from work.
Right. Well, because for me, it's all about, like, if I'm not doing work, then there's the moment I walk away from the computer, there is a timer I hear in my head that goes off. Yeah, maybe even with the fucking Metroid sound, dum 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 dum. And so, like, I haven't shut that thing off for 5 fucking years.
Yeah.
Like, ever since I was like 18 and a half, and I finally got a good work ethic, I haven't stopped yet. I know I'm going to have to force myself to take a break at some point to renew that passion, because I know it's going to run out at some point.
Excuse me.
God damn.
Okay.
Should we talk about our ideal house? Because I don't think... Are any of us in, like, the best
house?
Fuck yes.
Oh, okay. No, definitely not, but I'm pretty close.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my ideal house, and it is a house, or, townhouse, I guess, whatever. Like, one room. I hate big houses. I would never, ever want to be in a big house, ever.
Well,
I fucking hate them.
What kind of big house?
Why Munchie? Hang on, this is Munchie's time. Why Munchie?
This is Munchie's time.
It is Munchie's time.
Because I'm a little boy and I want to be in a little house. I don't need to have superfluous
Nigga, you are
rooms.
6.5 feet tall. You ain't no little
I'm a
boy.
little boy.
In this future world, do you live alone or are there other people living with you?
Munchie is the littlest boy I know. You piece of shit.
Munchie is the babiest boy I know, but he ain't the littlest boy I know. He's a big baby boy.
Are you alone in this place? Do you live alone in this place?
Ideally, I would want to be with 2 people, but we like each of our my section would be the small section because I want my ideal is just my room, then a bathroom, and then a kitchen. Maybe no, that's it. That's all I want. I don't want anything else. I just want to be able to walk maybe 3 feet and be at my refrigerator. I don't want to have to do anything. I want to live the fucking 3,000-pound man life. Have all my characters do everything for me. But no, because I just
Did you say your characters or your caretakers?
Caretaker. My characters. The Undertaler 587 is gonna win every single day.
In this fantasy world I'm constructing for results, I live in a house and my OCs just take care of me and they are my friends and
you're in your room and you hear a knock on the door. You're like, who is it? And you're like, it is me, DJ.
Today's anime is breakfast in bed. Oh, Jesus Christ.
He's a wonderful man to live with.
But yeah, this stems from me living upstairs. And every single day, I walk downstairs, I get something, then I walk back upstairs and I realize I forgot my fucking phone downstairs.
Yeah.
No! So I have to walk back down upstairs. I have to walk downstairs, and I have to walk back upstairs again. And that's like 30 seconds wasted where I could have been getting a sick fucking frag in Quake Live, bro. I'm trying to get that fucking gamer prestige.
I hear that, my dude.
Do you relate to not even wanting to be seen at all? Like when you're walking through? Like sometimes I'll take the long way into the kitchen. When I was younger and more stressed out, like, yeah.
That's a new thing.
I did during the most shameful time of my life. That's not even true, but during one of the most shameful times of my life, I was doing the classic hikikomori technique of pee bottles.
Pissing?
Yeah,
man.
But the reason why was fear of being seen by the people that I lived with.
That's when you were in California, right?
No, not in California. It was when I was in Somerville. But it was when I was in that place that was like like the lease had been terminated and the landlord had been like, get out, and we had challenged the landlord and been like, you can't just kick us out, like, and so we took it to court. So during the 6 months it was in court, nobody was paying rent, and we just squatted there. And it was legendary. But the point is that,
and you were ashamed of being seen by them?
Well, they were kind of a bunch of
assholes who won't pay rent.
Some of them were a little terrible, and I would try to avoid them. So yes, for a while I was just like, I'm just going to keep my head down and pee in bottles in my room, and and let God sort the rest out.
I need to make this point. This is very important, and it occurred to me because I just went to take a piss. If this goes to everyone in this call and elsewhere, I'm just letting you know, if you live in a situation where you have to put on pants to go to the bathroom, you're living your fucking life wrong. All right?
I know, yeah, definitely.
This is everyone needs to be your life goal, and I'll tell you why. Because for the longest time, I had, when I was living in my parents' house, that whole 9 years, I had my own room that had its own bathroom, so I never had to worry about this. Like, it basically was like I was living in my own apartment. But when I came back to my parents' house for a week, when they had moved back in and they'd given Shade my old room, and it was me and my girlfriend who was staying at my house for a week, and we have to leave the room to go to the bathroom. So, of course, we're naked constantly in my room, and we have to put on clothes every single time we want to go to the fucking bathroom. I'm telling you right now,
Digi, this is not going to become the Digi's Girlfriend podcast.
This is extremely important, Nate, to the fucking point.
Yeah, Nate,
you motherfucker. You weird anti-girlfriend fucking... You're like an anti-Semite for girlfriend.
Thank you, Digi. Thank you for fucking saying it. Somebody had to say it.
No.
It's extremely important to the point about homes, because the whole reason I got a place is to live with my girlfriend, and it was
Nate,
so
it's pretty
shit.
fucking related.
It was so shit.
And he goes on about, we're naked all the time. Let's hear more about that. That's what everyone wants to hear.
Yeah, I'm not fucking bragging about it, Nate. It's just the way the situation is that you have to put on your clothes to go to the bathroom. That is fucking bullshit. If you're covered in fucking sex funk and you want to wash yourself off, you got to put on all your clothes
folks.
just to go to the fucking bathroom, because your fucking parents are right down the hall and you don't want them to see you naked or smell you or have anything to do with you when you were just fucking. So you gotta walk to the bathroom. It's a fucking nightmare. Having your own place, nobody has to wear clothes ever. It's fucking perfect. And I'm telling you, this is how you should be living your life.
Thank you for that delightful story that I deeply appreciate, and I'm glad you told in its entirety.
The problem is, it's fundamentally wrong, because I literally prefer wearing clothes than not wearing clothes.
Nate, so, okay, I have a counterpoint to that. I would rather die than not be wearing clothes.
Yeah, if you're gonna talk about Nate, if you're gonna talk about fucking humble bragging, do you realize that you're basically like part of the hashtag proud and happy with my body club right here? Like, maybe you should like check your fucking physicality privileges.
I don't understand what you're saying. I don't understand.
Actually, wait, that's the opposite logic. Fuck! Yeah, I got my logic backwards.
No, don't get me wrong. I like wearing clothes too, but I like wearing underwear. I'm not a fan of wearing pants. But the problem is not.
Digi, wear shorts. They're comfy and easy to wear. Yeah, I did.
I wear shorts at home all the time.
The problem is not like. The problem isn't like the wearing of the clothes. It's having to put clothes on just to go to the bathroom and then take them back off when you get back to your room. Like, it's having to go through an extra process to do something.
Oh, man. Like, one time when I was like 16, my family finally moved out of a house that only had one bathroom between the 5 of us to finally having like 3 bathrooms. And like, I was basically the only one that used this bathroom because I was the only one that stayed in my room, right? My brother had the same bathroom, but he was almost never there. So basically I had a bathroom all to myself where no one would ever be able to hear me. No one would see me up here because I was the only one up here. And just my bladder and bowels shrank drastically over the next year because I finally wasn't holding it in like all the fucking time, right? Like, oh
Dude,
my god.
Davoo,
Like,
you and Ben,
imagine what the diaper lifestyle would do to that.
No imagining needed, brother.
I have no idea how Davoo, Ben, and Victor managed to share that middle bathroom in the house.
Very
that
carefully.
oh, I think I may have mentioned this in the
I had to hold my
podcast,
poop in
but
on multiple occasions.
That would have been fucking insane.
I just had my toothbrush and all my toiletries in my bedroom closet because I knew that like I don't want other people's poop particles flying all over the place. You know what I mean? I don't want that. So I had all my whenever I needed something, I would take it from the closet. I would take it from the closet.
That makes sense.
I legit have never I never appreciated how much I wanted my own place until I was forced out of that room. Again, the room I was in might as well have been an apartment. Like, I only had to come downstairs to go to the kitchen or to leave the house, and everyone else was so far away, it really felt like I was on my own. Being put into the middle of the house for just 1 week was, like, abject horror for me. Like, I hated it. It was so bad, because you could hear people talking all over the house. Like, I can't record, like, if I hear someone talking in the distance. You know, like if I'm worried that they're going to come in here and interrupt my recording or something. Like, it just, stuff like that drives me insane. I really need, like, a lot of space, or for the people in that space to understand what I'm doing, you know. Like, I hate the idea of, I'm at home, so my mom doesn't know I'm recording, or she doesn't know how long the recording lasts, so she comes, oh, Conrad, what is going on? God damn it, I'm in the middle of some shit.
You know, the whole like, living with family, all the fucking, like, you know, stress of living with family stuff, I think I found a cheat for it, which is that if you move away from your family's house easily, and you could still afford to do so, but of your own volition, through financially good ideas, you realize and decide to just move back in your family's house temporarily, all that stress magically isn't there. At least that was the case with me, because I moved back in with my family. The room I'm living in now is not the room I was living in before, because I used to live up in a house that was up in another room that was basically an apartment, just like Digi's room. But now I'm living in a room that's just across the hallway from where my parents live. And for some reason, the fact that I felt like I was doing this out of my own volition with all this agency made me not get stressed out about it. You know, it used to be if I'm down in the kitchen and anyone else is in the kitchen, I have this fucking death glare at them of like, I don't want to be in the kitchen at the same time as someone else. But now it's like, man, you know, I reach for a spoon at the same time you reach for a fork, and we have to make a slight grunt at one another because we're in the same general place. I don't want to kill myself now.
Hey, you know,
it's really cool.
I'm just going to say, if you ever live in a situation where you're afraid of encountering the people you live with, I think that you have a problem that needs to be sorted out. I don't know exactly what it is. It's going to depend
don't
on the
worry.
situation.
There's other defense mechanisms, like, you know, for example, the absolutely dreaded, what are you looking for? You know, when you're like going through the shelves looking for a thing, and you're just like, my mom's gonna say, what are you looking for? I don't want her to know what I'm looking for. It doesn't literally matter though. I just don't want her to know. And so you know what I would do to deflect that? I'd be like, every shelf I open, I'm gonna be like, oh sweet, that shelf is exactly what I want. Ooh, this shelf has what I want too, so that no one thinks I'm looking for anything. I'm just like constantly happy when I'm looking around the shelf. Like, oh, sweet.
I'm totally with you. I'm totally with you on that. I hate when people get involved in my business when I don't want them to be, which is great because I've been living on my own for a couple years now, and it's great. But like the time in my life when I did this for a while too. After, you know, I left college and was living at home and was just doing shitty jobs, and I think it might have been even before I started doing YouTube-y stuff. I was paying rent to my parents, but like they would always be on me to like be working harder to like finish my degree. Just you know, like go do the things that you obviously need to be doing that I would do to some small degree, but not nearly enough. So like all the time, this is a big pattern for me throughout my life. When there are people that I need to do things for and I'm not like living up to the obligations I've made to them, I will just avoid them, which is a common thing that all people do. So like for me, this was completely like I would avoid contact with my parents as much as physically possible, to the point of never ever seeing them and never leaving my room. Yeah, just the hickey life, obviously. But it was entirely because I was not doing the things that I needed to do. It was entirely my fault
in this
that I was
case,
making the situation shitty. And I'm just saying that, like, I see a lot of that on other people. Like, if there's something you're trying to avoid by not seeing people, generally you're going to be better off addressing.
Well, I'll explain. The reason why I was peeing.
Okay.
The reason why I was peeing in bottles is because the people that I lived with at the time. Well, it was a bit of a rogues gallery, but one of them was like super OCD, and if he happened to catch a glimpse of you, no, not OCD. He was bipolar. He was bipolar. And if he happened to catch a glimpse of you while you were walking through the room, while he was in a manic episode, he would rope you into some complete fucking nonsense. Like, there were multiple occasions where I would just be walking through and he'd just be like, Ben, can you help me? Like, we need to move this furniture. Like, we need to rearrange this furniture. Like, he can't stay like this. And
Ben, have I met this guy?
No, you have not met this guy.
Okay.
But he was...
Ben, listen.
No, I just want to say, and then he would, and then we would move furniture for like 2 hours, and he would, we need to move this couch upstairs. And then 2 weeks later, he would catch you again, and he'd be like, okay, we got to move furniture again. And then we would move it like back. And like, and so that was like, I just wanted to avoid that so much.
I'm with you on that, Ben. But really, that's a surface level issue. The deeper problem is you had put yourself in a situation where you were living with a bunch of degenerates who were willing to do this kind of squatting, weird, not leaving when they're not wanted situation.
Of course it had problems, but you know what? It was fucking worth it to live rent free. So fuck you.
All right, okay. Yeah. If it was worth it,
it was the right thing to do, and you'll never convince me otherwise.
Objectively.
Yeah, I've pretty much been doing my best for a number of years now. When I moved back in with my family, really what my parents could have been doing was flying to wherever Digi was and be like, hey, when are you going to write him a video so he can edit it?
You know what this really is? It's if you can look in the mirror at the end of the day and you look in your own eyes and you see I am doing everything in my power to fulfill my obligations to the people in my life. If you can do that without wincing, without shying away, then you shouldn't be afraid of looking anyone or facing anybody.
Nah,
in your life.
I don't fulfill the obligations to other people in my life, but I make it very clear to them.
Well, all right then. As long as people know, it's like if you're like lying or hiding things from people, that was me. That's what I was doing.
You should have a lying podcast. I'm very pro lying.
Ooh, lying? That's a good idea.
Oh my fucking yeah.
I could be.
Hey, okay, let's completely shift gears and talk about what are we going to do to end homelessness if we're going to.
No, hold on.
How are we going to solve that issue?
Literally, only Munchie has shared his dream home so far.
I don't give a fuck about that.
And I want to go again. This is the Munchie podcast now.
No, it's not.
Just quickly, just fucking quickly. Other people talking about, I don't want to talk to people. Okay, I've never been like that. Except for recently, because my uncle. I'm sure many of you have heard murmurs and rumors and stumbles and mumbles about my uncle.
Uncle Alex, right?
Here's the red pill. Here's the quick explanation. He is 55 years old and he loves pole on 4chan.
Sick. Dude.
Yes.
Whoa,
he goes
shit.
on pole. He goes on pole every single day of his life, and he's always making threads.
Is he Barack Obama's half brother by any chance?
Probably.
Okay.
He's just not black enough. He's still black, but just not enough. Anyway, every time I walk past him, he's on his iPad, fucking just checking, like, upvoting of 4chan images, which I'm assuming is a thing. He's buying that 4chan gold status.
Of course, yeah, the gold pass.
Yeah.
Every single day, he's buying more 4chan gold.
Yeah, exactly. And then when I walk past him, he's like, "Hey, dude, you see this fucking Pepe image? Check this out, bro." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's pretty nice.
Damn.
It's pretty nice.
It's a pretty rare Pepe."
Yeah, please just let me get my fucking drink. Nah, bro, dude, check this shit fucking out. You see what Trump's doing? He's gonna fix the fucking moon, bro. He's gonna fix it. Global warming's gonna be gone, bro.
What? Fix the moon? What?
He's gonna fix the moon.
He's gonna make the moon great again. He's gonna take all the excess heat from the greenhouse gases on Earth and put it on the moon to make the moon nice and warm.
Oh shit.
And we can then start agriculture on the moon. Of course, we recycle everything. This makes a lot of sense.
Exactly. So basically, my uncle is completely incoherent, and whenever I walk past him, he always try to rope me into a red pill conversation about Trump or Pepe or any sort of 4chan dub memes, and I want to avoid that as much as possible, so I just stay up in my room and wait for him to leave. Oh, and the reason he's always over at my house now is because his life is falling apart because he goes on pole too much.
Yeah.
Well, it sucks when you're like young and you still live with your parents and you like don't have a job to afford your own place yet, which I was like till pretty recently. Yeah, like there's just nothing you can do. You got to deal with it.
Yeah. So my dream home is to basically recreate Owl Farm, which is the place that Hunter S. Thompson lived. Hunter S. Thompson lived on his own like acre of land up in the hills of Aspen, Colorado, and he had this relatively small house. I would probably put a bigger house there because I'm obsessed with living in a labyrinth. That's also my dream house, is to live in a labyrinth. But he has this giant yard, and he would just have shitloads of guns, and he was just always firing guns on his property, and he had like a whole shooting range, and he was just fucking around. He had peacocks everywhere, just roaming, and he would get into gunfights with his neighbors and shit. Like, they just shoot at each other's property, like, when they were mad at each other, and like, it's basically a libertarian utopia, and that's what I want to live in. I just want to have space to do literally any batshit crazy stuff I want to do.
Dude, you said Owl Farm, right? Owl Farm?
It's called Owl Farm.
Instead of any of the shit you just described, I'm just picturing Drake from Hotline Bling with his owl sweatshirt. Just like that place is Owl Farm to me.
Did you? So you described it as like a libertarian utopia. Imagine if it was like on a very specific mountain where like the Colorado Capitol building was like within view with a telescope, so you would have a telescope to see the tiny government.
I mean, that may have actually been the case because I think he was pretty close to the sheriff's office, which he also ran for sheriff.
Awesome.
Of Aspen, but yeah. His just seeing, there's videos of like his property out there. In fact, there's a video of Conan O'Brien going there and like hanging out on his shooting range and firing shitloads of guns. And he has like a bar set up at the shooting range. This is a man who literally has a giant stash of alcohol next to his giant stash of guns. And he can just do that, you know, and shoot.
It's Colorado, man. You can do whatever.
I don't give a single fuck.
He's already attained greatness. It's time to enjoy it, I guess. Who gives a fuck anymore?
Yeah, well, anyway, my dream house really is just a labyrinth, but I guess I can be more specific. I don't need the guns and shit. I don't need it to be like a farm, but I do like the labyrinthine idea. Right. I can get more specific. I want it to be in the woods. You know, I want it to be far away. I don't need it to be in the mountains because generally that's a lot more expensive. I'm fine with flatland. I don't mind flatland, but I do like trees. So you have that. I don't know. Like, there'd just be a lot of specific ways to make it labyrinthine. I want a lot of basement shit. I'd like some where like you kind of go into a mountain and then you come out the other side and there's another door over there. That'd be pretty cool. And especially the best thing to have a labyrinth for is to have like this own little sectioned off area that a teenage offspring could live in without having to get, you know, that way it would really facilitate when they're going through their phase of not wanting to be near their parents and shit. You can make that really easy for them. You'll never have to see them, right? That's what I would love to facilitate to my progeny. Yeah. That's basically it.
Excellent.
I guess here's where I want to live. It forces me to consider like what I want my life to be like as well. So basically, it would be a house by itself, similar to like the one I grew up in. Yeah, the center of the earth. It'd just be on like, I don't know, like some pretty quiet street, fairly far away from another house, but probably like within, I don't know,
Nate,
like it could be like 50 feet away.
You just reminded me an important point that even though I want this like this labyrinth on this like acre of land, I want it to be immediately surrounded by like nothing but stores. Like, I don't want it to be in the middle of nowhere. Like, I want it to be, like, right in the heart of a city. Like, it's a public park that I've built a house in.
Yeah. I'm not going to get away with the gun thing.
I was going to say, my ideal house would be just like, a dungeon. It would be just like, it would be just like a single, like, dungeon room. Like, a spacious dungeon room at the top of, like, a stone spire. And it would be totally ice, but it would be a tall stone spire that you had to climb some like spiral staircases to some spirals, like hours and hours of climbing a staircase to get up to. But it would be right in the middle of a metropolitan city, so that I could just like look down and observe.
Yeah.
So I'd be isolated from it. I'd be isolated from all that hullabaloo, but I could see it, and if I wanted to, I could maybe go and get down there if the mood struck me.
You might be interested in the house that I'm currently living in, my family's house, because it's like, you've seen it in some of my videos. It's 10 acres of land. You can do whatever here, but it's like near the highway, and it's like 6 minutes away from a Walmart and a Quick Trip.
Not good
Okay,
enough.
there you go.
I want it literally, like if I leave my property, then there is a store. Like, that's what I want it to be. Like I am living on the, just build a mall around my house is what I'm saying.
Plus, you've got shit internet, so that's
yeah, and the shit internet is definitely the worst part. But there's like good internet, just a little bit out of reach. I think if you could like drop like a $5,000 investment, you could probably get someone to stretch it out. There's also a hospital like 4 minutes away from here. It's on this. There's this giant fucking hospital on this obscure road.
I don't necessarily want to live right next to a hospital.
Nate,
well, dude,
Nate,
like
I want what you're saying. Nate,
go.
Let
Let me
Nate
finish
go.
my goddamn point. Okay, so it's whatever. It's a fucking suburb, fairly close to the center of a metropolitan area, like the outside of Boston or something. That would be pretty cool. So about the house itself, it would be, I don't know, like medium sized, but the size is important. because I want to have a family. I want to have kids. Two, Vincent and Charlotte, twin perfect godchildren. The wife doesn't matter. She'll probably be there, but I don't care about her. And
I was gonna say, like,
and here's the important part. The house can't. Okay, so first of all, it's got to have a studio where I can do all my work. That has to happen. It has to be a nice place. But other than that, the house has to be small enough. Not as big as the house I grew up in, because that house was too big and it forced us to be able to stay away from each other. I want to be forced to interact with my family so that they can't avoid me, they can't get mad at me. We will always be forced to communicate with each other, and none of us will ever be lonely.
What do you mean, though?
That's
what do you mean they can't
That's
get mad
not
at
how
you?
fucking
What do you mean they can't get mad
That's
at
not how
you?
it works.
If they're forced to interact with you, they're gonna get mad at you way more
He means
often.
they can't, like, storm off to their room and be alone.
That's not... Nate, that's fucking not no. The best decisions I've ever made in my fucking life was run away to my room instead of reacting.
Devu, you've got your perspective, and here is my perspective. I lived in a big house where I was far away from everyone where I wanted to be, and that had negative consequences. And what I'm trying to say is I'd like to find ways to avoid those. And being too isolated from my family made me a lonelier person, and has made me the person I am today. And I'd like to avoid that for my kids.
Nate, having been in the same fucking family, let me say that being isolated from said
Wait, you guys are brothers?
Oh my god!
I know, right? Being isolated from said family was just the greatest thing. Was the only respite from the terror. It was a great
opinion you guys have. Love your opinion.
Being separate was the best part of it. So
well, consider this, Ben. Consider the fact that you're 2 years older than me, and
you two are brothers?
Everything that entails, and maybe I'm just a lonelier person by nature, but nonetheless, I don't want that, and I want to avoid that. That's what a family is literally for, so that's what I want it to serve.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
I don't give a fuck.
Fair enough.
Nate's lonely. He has plus attack. But
I'm just saying. Like
exactly.
I would fucking chafe and get mad if I lived in some place where I was like forced to interact all the time.
Like, I mean, what I would do for my house, like I said before, is there would be this area where some teenager could live there all by themselves, but have some other rooms that are right next to each other in case some or all of my kids are like that. You know, I'm sure that I know that people fucking like grind that whole introvert extrovert thing into the ground, but it's fucking true. You can observe it. There are people who get tired when they're around people and get energetic when they're alone, and vice versa. It's just a fucking fact. I literally get tired if I'm around too many. If people are in the room, it like sucks my life force away, and I'm gonna get fucking mad and tired and dead. So like,
I'm an introvert. I need people to come up to me and
know,
say,
I fucking know, but it's just goddamn true. All right.
Nah, that's fine.
Oh yeah,
fine.
sure. Oh yeah, sure. Oh, I got you, Devu. All right. Let's move on to the topic, Devu. All right, let's move on.
I'm just telling you.
Oh my god, is that best guy ever? When did you get here?
Hey everybody, I'm best guy ever. Oh my god.
I'm totally speaking here from a purely self-serving perspective. I'm aware of that, and I don't care.
Which
one
do I shoot? Indeed.
This isn't objective at all. This is purely subjective. But
okay, this is a related note. How many of you, when growing up, were allowed to lock your doors?
Oh shit!
That we didn't even have.
I don't
locks,
think.
So
Yeah, I don't think we
what?
had locks. Yeah, it's fucked up, right? It fucked me up.
It's not that fucked up.
I literally lock my door, even though my door, like I'm upstairs. So if anyone wanted to come back, I just hear the right.
See, that's the sort of thing. No child needs to lock their door from their
fuck's sake! There is nothing. I forgot all about this. I completely forgot just how angry I was every fucking day of my life that I couldn't lock my door. My life would have been so much better if I could have locked my door. It was honestly, I think it was cruel. I honestly think it was cruel that I was made to live in a room that had no lock.
Okay, you know what? I'll give you the peace of mind that can come from having a lock if you feel like you really need it. I can understand that, but I don't really like the idea of living in a house where everyone's got their doors locked all the time. It's just weird.
I don't fucking know, man. If you're having kids, that means you're creating all new human beings who did not fucking choose to be part of this. I understand the idea of a locked door between like a romantic relationship of two adult people who like.
You give children too much credit. They're worthless. They have no intellect.
But children did not fuck. This is one of the things that Stefan Molyneux, world's smartest and best guy ever, said about that children.
That's where I got the name.
Did not choose this relationship, and so if they want to fucking lock you out or kill you, they have that fucking right. So
Stefan Molyneux thinks way too highly of children's intelligence and agency.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, like I had an issue with my younger brother because he wanted to just one night he decided, hey, David, we have separate rooms now. You know, we've been sleeping in different rooms for a few years now, but what if I just sleep in your room for tonight? It'll be like a fun sleepover. And I was like, sure.
Uh-oh.
And then the next night he did it again. And then like 2 days later he did it again. And I was like, all right, Aaron, no more sleeping in my bedroom. Okay. And then he just kept doing it. And then eventually he knew I was going to say no. So like a few hours before bedtime, he would just start hanging out in my room. And he'd sort of get comfortable in a chair that's right next to the bed. And so, you know, but this is where the fucking immovable object meets the other fucking immovable object. And I'm just like, no, you're getting the fuck out of my room. And he would get mad at me. He felt entitled to my attention. There was times where like he knocks on the door and he starts opening it and I know he's going to be worming his way through a 3-hour fucking espionage plan to get into my room for the night. So I just immediately bang on the door the other direction, block him out. By the time he got strong enough,
some bullshit. What's wrong with his room?
But he's just a fucking lonely person who has to be around human beings all the time. Now that he's an adult, he says that he borderline passes out on the road whenever he's driving to work because there's no one to talk to. So
right,
yeah,
that's just insane.
So it got to the point that he was like taking pocket knives and stabbing holes in the door. So mad that I wouldn't let him sleep in my room. I'm not fucking joking. 2 separate doors among 2 separate houses. He'd be punching holes in my door for being mad at me.
That's a bit much.
Yeah, to the point that I had to start, like, I enacted an absolute policy of no one opens my door at all, ever, without knocking and then getting permission. And then,
that's how it should be, of course.
And then years later, well, I guess 7, 8, 9 years later, like, that, my brother has since greatly matured, but that policy is still in place and everyone locks the door because I'm a fucking psychopath who doesn't like being fucked with. Anyway, that's why you need locks on doors, you know? Cause of that. There's this personality difference.
Devu, you're not a psychopath for not wanting some fucking rude foreign invader to destroy and dismantle your fucking lands. And come in every single day
goddamn
and ruin
room
your
immigrant
life.
trying to take your goddamn sleeping jobs and then ruin your economy. Understandable.
You are the only one sane in that circumstance.
That's debatable. But
you know
sure.
what? I'm open to the idea of having the locks on the doors, but I think I definitely feel weird about like if my kid like locked his door every night for no reason. I would object. I would object.
You are
my door
quite
every night
fucking
because I
totalitarian.
Yeah, dude, like who are you to tell him like, dude, you
I am
shouldn't.
the father. It is my house. I paid for the house in this situation.
What are you gonna tell them to do instead? You're gonna be like, you're not gonna be in your room. You're gonna be down here. You're gonna be my fucking friend, you little cunt. Is that what you're gonna say?
Yeah, like
that's exactly right. Yes, I won't even give him the choice because I'll just buy the house I want. I'm that far ahead of him.
I have such a fucking vivid image of what kind of dad you are gonna be. Like it's gonna be really funny.
I imagine Nate as the dad. I doubt any of you have ever seen the show Arakawa Under the Bridge, but the main character is this guy who's like a lawyer, and his dad is like a rich lawyer guy, and his dad taught him like you always have to repay every debt in your life, including when he comes of age, his dad then becomes a baby who he then has to take care of in order to pay back
shit?
Like he makes his kid pay back the debt of having been raised by him by making him then like take care of his dad.
Well, that just doesn't make any sense because
that's just the circle of life, my dogs.
Yeah.
No, that's the son having to pay for both like his own children and his parents. That doesn't make sense. Like you pay it forward to the next generation.
Well, I don't know how that works.
I don't know.
It's an anime. Anime is not.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
The point is that it's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm with you. Did he become a literal baby? Did he like turn into one? Or
No,
he
just you only see him for like a minute. Like we just get like this is just the backstory of the main character. But his dad like puts on a bib and gets in a high chair and it's like you have to feed me now.
Oh my fucking god!
Because I
understand
you all
the one
years.
for that kind of justice.
No,
all right, that's good.
Nate, let me explain just real briefly here. My door is always locked. But no matter what
are you hiding, Munchie? What are you hiding in there?
This life!
Fucking dick! What do you think he's hiding? That's the only
I
reason
want to
any
see you
teenage
jack
boy
that dick,
ever
my
fucking
son. I'm
locks
gonna
the
watch
door.
you. I'm gonna watch you touch yourself, and you're gonna show me what you've learned, and I'm gonna correct your technique, you worthless baby shit.
Our dad does not have to be ashamed of our penis, especially since they're such big size and all.
Exactly.
But whenever...
I don't want you ripping the skin, Munchie. I don't want you ripping the skin. You're gonna learn.
But no matter what, when someone knocks on the door, I just let them in. Because they're usually just like, hey, hello.
Fucking Nate's gonna be like, his son's gonna be jacking off in his doorless room, and Nate's gonna come in and be like, it's more efficient if you turn your hand like this. I'm just saying, like, I'm not telling you how to jack your dick, son, but if you turn your hand this way, I'm just saying it'd be more efficient.
You guys are all coming from the perspective of like our parents there's vestiges in culture of like being ashamed of masturbation and being ashamed of your body.
You want to watch your son jack off? You want to walk in on that?
I'm down to clown, baby boy. Let's get this going.
Yes!
Let's get
it doesn't make any fucking sense, dude. None of us here are ashamed of mastication. Would any of us masticate in the same room?
Yes.
Well, that makes one of us.
No, I wouldn't.
Dude, we've masticated in the same room together. We went out and we all masticated together in public, my dudes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. It's true. He's right.
Many
right.
times.
There's no redeeming
before the eyes of God and man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically what I'm saying is, if you don't give your child a lock, you should be locked up. In jail, that is.
Agreed. I agree.
Yeah.
I'm willing to entertain
I remember as a kid, one of the things I did as a kid all the time was like hear about parental policies of other people's kids and like scoff at them for being totalitarian and shit. Because my parents only befriended other even Christians, and like one family I knew, they had a policy of if you're going to the bathroom, you have to keep the door slightly open. And I'm like, what?
Okay,
the
that's
fuck?
fucked. That's
Why?
fucked.
Yeah.
Why?
And it's like 4 to 8 year olds, but still, that's like pretty fucked.
I'm not. Well, if they're like little babies, I sort of get it.
8 is like, what are you in third grade by then? Jesus.
Yeah,
Fuck's
it's
sake.
pretty fucked. I'm just
at some
what's
point
wrong with these people?
Really, there is a cutoff point where you have to be willing to let your child drown in the toilet if they fuck up that bad.
Yeah.
It's just you have to take that plunge.
I could see not having a lock on the bathroom door if you're worried about your kids.
Yeah,
I completely understand why Nate would be hesitant to take any of our stances into consideration, because I'm sure that he has no desire for his kids to come out at all like any of us.
Of course not.
So any of the things that we take as wisdom because our parents did it or because we think it would be a good idea, I don't think is going to be stuff that Nate's going to listen to.
My kids are going to be the most Chad Thundercock alpha children of all time.
Okay, Nate, here's some basic fucking logic. When you were a teenager, did you need that lock? Do you really think that lock really made your life worse, or that you would have been even worse without it?
To be honest, thinking about it, like I would have been more comfortable with the lock. It's true.
Right. So here's the thing, right? You're probably thinking, oh well, my kids, I know all the ways that I was like fucked in the head by my parents. I just won't do those things. And indeed, most parents who give a shit are able to roughly not make all the same mistakes their parents did. But the fact is, you're going to make your own mistakes. Parents never know. Parents never realize that. My parents are definitely like that. None of the problems that they were given. But it's just you can't be perfect. Life isn't. That's just not how fucking life works, right?
I know exactly.
You're entirely right.
I know exactly what problems I'm going to create for my kids. I know exactly how it's going to go down.
And they're on purpose.
I know which problems I'm going to fix for my parents, which is that my parents are terrible at communication and just using words.
Dude, the problem you're going to have is that your kids are going to walk out of their room, and they're going to see you walking down naked through the hallway. Just fucked my girlfriend, everybody! Just got on my body right now.
That is exactly the problem I'm talking about. My kids are going to grow up with a psychopath. They're going to grow up with someone who has never known how to be normal, trying to teach them how to be normal. And more likely teaching them how it doesn't matter to be normal. Like, first of all, my kids are going to know from the time they are born that, like, there is no God and that school is bullshit. And they're going to have to go to school with this knowledge and talk to other kids and be like, here, I know, I can see it in my head. A kid being like, oh, are you Christian? And they're being like, no, Christians are dumb. My daddy said so. And the next thing I know, I'm in school, fucking, like, at a parent-teacher conference, having to put my kid in some kind of fucking weird satanic private school cult or something.
Yeah, burn it all to the fucking ground, dude.
But by the way, Nate, I'm just imagining right now.
Wait a second. Wait, hold the fuck on. If your kid says there's no God in class and they get taken to Satan school, like,
well, the Satan guys are more open-minded than the Jesus guys. Did you guys know that basically there's an organization like the Satanists? Every time there's like a new bit of legislation passes that like gives Christians permission to do like XYZ, like teach Christianity in schools in like some bumfuck nobody town. Like there's this cadre of Satanists Satanists that I haven't. I wish I could remember their name. But they then go in and make the same. They like try to be like, okay, well, we're going to now promote Satanism in this place, like that. You just made it legal,
oh my
so we're
fucking
gonna
god,
it's like
pedantry up the
it's
ass.
The best.
Well, what I'm gonna do with my kids regarding religion is I'm just not gonna like say shit, or if they ask me, I'll be like, I don't think there's a god. But then obviously their grandparents will be able to talk their fucking ear off, and I will love to see what decision they come to on their own, because I know there's kind of a trend of grandchildren to latch onto the ideology of 2 generations up rather than 1 generation up. So that would be really fucking cute if my kids are like Christian.
It definitely skips a generation. I was just talking to one of Jackie's friends the other day, and he was telling me that like every other generation of his family is a preacher, and then every generation in between is an alcoholic.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, oh, that's
perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Well, my parents are a nihilist and a guy who just believes in weird, random spiritual shit that he doesn't even get into. So, like, between me and my parents, it's the same exact thing. So I think my kids are gonna be the exact same.
The only reason that I won't beat into the heads of my children how evil religion is and how brainwashed all the other sheep out there in the world are compared to them is because I'm afraid of that teenage backlash that they'll just switch around to the other side.
They
you know what?
They
Jesus
definitely
fucking
will.
rules.
Well,
I can't take that chance. I cannot take that chance.
The problem is that your kids will get made fun of for like believing something different.
It'll make them strong. It'll make them powerful.
Unless you put them into a completely distinct scenario, like a weird satanic cult school where like everyone thinks that shit, you know.
But it's just like all the arguments for why God is real that people just bring up are just so easily defeated by like, remember guys, you have no reason to believe any of this. You're just going off on all these tangents. Like once you're armed with the logical tools, I mean, fuck, you know, people have been talking about this for fucking centuries. Like there's no argument anyone could make that is any value.
Man. Talking about being a bad parent, I know that the place that I would fuck up if I'm not really careful is I'm going to be the fucking adoptive dad from Threegatsu no Lion who only cares about shogi, and all of his children, his actual children, end up being scarred for life because they're not good at shogi enough to get his attention, and his adoptive son is, and so they hate him and they become dysfunctional abortions forever.
You know what?
I'm like, that's what I'm going to be with. That's what I'm going to be with fucking, like, YouTube videos and video games. It's like, if my kids aren't as obsessed with art as I am, I'm not going to hang out with them as much unless I really discipline myself, and I'm going to ruin them. And, that's going to be my problem.
Like your kids coming like, Dad, want to hang out? And you're like, guys, look, you're just kind of embarrassing me in front of my cool art friends.
I actually love this idea.
You kids are just too square.
I've got to adopt a superior athletic older kid to motivate my younger children to advance to that level and be cool and badass like that.
That is kind of genius. Like, adopt a kid to be the older sibling to your kids. That is kind of fucking genius.
Oh, well, I didn't catch that at first. That's pretty fucking genius.
I think I've seen that in an anime, actually. I think I've seen that be used in a show, and it was, you know, the eldest kid always has like a thing, like he feels bad because he's not, you know, as like clearly not as loved by the parents because he's not their progeny, but at the same time the siblings really look up to them, and so he, you know, still feels like part of the family.
You adopt yourself a kamina to motivate your younger children, and then
and obviously the number one place to get adoptions from is Africa, where they have the best athletic ability. So it's pretty much sells itself right there.
There you go. It works perfectly.
You can adopt one of those like Russian babies. I know, like at one point in the 90s, they were adopting a lot of Russian babies, and that way you can have the best alcoholic.
I already know my kids are going to be fucking clones of me. Like they're just gonna be. Yeah, they are.
There's
no. Don't you want to experiment with improvements like Gohan and Dragon Ball Z?
Experiment with improvements.
Totally
let's just take my kids and I'll just tinker with them a little bit. You know,
that's
just
hammer
them out a little bit in my laboratory.
I didn't mean literal clones. I meant they are going to be figurative clones of me.
Oh well, I meant literal.
I don't know, man. When you think that way, that's like an idealistic way of thinking. Like I've already thought, you know. The idea of like, I'm gonna have kids who are gonna be into sports. That's just what I just have to get ready for that right now, right?
I want my kids to be into sports so I can get into sports, so I can play tennis with my kids. That would be fucking awesome. But like,
why tennis? Why tennis?
Tennis.
Yeah, that's what Raito-kun and L played.
Tennis is by far my favorite sport, so that's why.
See, Digi, there you go. You're still idealizing. Look at this. Obviously, the most obvious way to rebel against you is to be super like Western culture and fuck weed shit, right?
I don't think my kids are going to be rebellious, though. Me and my brothers were never rebellious. We had no phase.
But your parents are like the most rebellious people ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, that's why I think like. My attitude, like, everything about how I am is, like, if you just put my parents in a blender, you get me. You know, like, I am exactly like them.
I don't know, and when you think that it's going to be predictable, that will be your folly. If you have an idea of what you want your kids to be,
we're all fucking talking out of our ass.
Yeah,
here
you're
anyway.
Completely making that up, Devu. Like, there's no logic to support that.
So are you, though. So are you. You have no idea what your kids are actually going to do.
I'm just saying, it makes the most sense to me that, like, considering that me, Victor, and Shade are all exactly like our parents, and I know I'm the kind of person who's going to be extremely close with my kids. I'm probably going to be, like, right on them at all times. Maybe they'll get annoyed with me. Maybe they'll get sick of me when they get into their teen phase. But, like, by the time they're teenagers, it doesn't matter if they get rebellious in the teen phase. You've already fucking built their mind. Like, you know, they're already you. Like, everyone...
But the building process doesn't go smoothly all the time, and you never know what you're actually building.
Almost every rebellious, like, kid is, like, a carbon copy of their parents. Like, you know, my mom, like, all the things she can't stand about her mom is just the stuff that is exactly the shit she does, you know? Like, everything that she criticizes her mom for is something that she just has a different version of. So, like, I think almost everyone, like, anytime I hear somebody be like, oh, my mom, she's such a fucking bitch, she does this and this, I'm like, you basically do that, just in a different form, you know?
This has been a really enlightening discussion of homes and homelessness.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, join us for the sequel to this in 10 years when we all have kids. I want us to have a proper how we raised our kids cast.
That's a good idea.
And don't anyone tell anyone anything about your home life. We want it to not spoil it for the 10-year podcast.
Yeah, like, don't spoil it. Don't spoil it, anybody.
I imagine that's what Dick would do if he gets a girl pregnant. He's like, all right, I'm not going to see it until it's like 5 years old. I want to like get my live reaction on the show, like see what the kid looks like. I don't even know what color it is necessarily.
He'd hype it for 20 episodes before talking about it.
Yeah.
So, does anyone want to close? Yeah, go on, Munchie. Go on.
Me, I just to go with Digi. I have never been rebellious against my mom ever. She's always just been, hey, shut the fuck up, you're retarded, and also tiny. And I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Munchie, if she says that, your mom must be enormous. Your mom must be the largest woman in the world.
No.
Ronda Rousey, the largest woman in the world, aka Munchie's mom.
But it's made me think, because I'm not rebellious as in like fuck you, mom. But I am rebellious in the sense that I'm not retarded and also angry all the time. Like she says you're retarded, so like you don't be retarded, like just to stick it to her. Yeah, well, like jokes on you, mom. I know what's fucking up. Oh, okay. It's like she's pretty like gullible, and she's super hard, like, you know, lib cuck.
Yeah, she's super gullible because she lives in an apartment.
Exactly. And she's also like really angry. She's like car cat basically, 24/7.
Yeah.
All right.
Specifically, like in between
unresolved character arcs out the ass. All right.
Yeah. Exactly. Anyway, so I'm like in IRL offline. I'm like calm. And I don't really, you know, I'm not really fucking crazy, except for when I go out in public. Like when I say in real life, I mean like in my room, not on the computer. But then when I walk outside the room, I'm just like this. It's like
there are
like,
slivers
room.
Of sanity. In
there.
Right.
Slivers of sanity. Anyway, so in that, I'm like very different from my mom in the sense that I'm not fucking weird. But, you know, I think that's the way I rebel, in the sense that I am still crazy. Never mind, my point makes no sense.
Yeah, that's what it's like. That's what it's like. The pendulum swings. The pendulum swings back and forth with every generation. Or, except for the times that it doesn't. And except for the times that it kind of does and kind of doesn't and falls somewhere in the middle.
Within pendulums. That's what it is. It's like a...
It's like wheels within wheels.
Hey, you know what's cool?
It's like turtles all the way down.
Title screen with the pendulum.
I gotta be right back.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I cried! That animation's so good, dude. It's 3 minutes of pure masterpiece. I love Pendulum.
Nostalgia.
Oh, right. That was good. Okay, guys, we're going off the rails.
We need to talk about fucking homelessness.
We don't have time to crack the code of how to fix homelessness in America anymore.
Wait.
I
just want to say as a closing statement, one day, if I play my cards right, I want to be homeless. And if at all possible, dead in a gutter with other dudes pissing on my court. At all possible. That's why I'm aiming for.
Luckily, I mean, you have all the tools at your disposal to make that happen.
Yeah. I'm just going to say, through God, all things are possible. So, True. Have hope. Take heart. All right, let's switch to questions here.
Yeah.
We got a whole bunch of questions, so let's see what we got. Okay, here's one to start us off. Here we go. At SizWhiteScum69, who I know has asked a question before. Yeah, that's Munchie's alt account. Asked, thoughts on those who leech off your content without patroning? So just like thoughts on, in general, people who watch our shit without
remember that Crime Wing eliminated? Remember that? That was pretty funny.
Does he mean... Wait. Yeah, wait.
He doesn't mean people like reposting content. He's just talking about like free watchers, just people who watch and don't do anything.
Well, I mean, that's their prerogative, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we put it out there for free.
Yeah, we're not charging for it in the first place, and it would be really hard to gain patrons if our content was gated to begin with. Like, you got to get an audience of people, and like most people aren't going to be that interested, or they don't think the content's worth it. I mean, fucking Ben and Nate are both huge proponents of never pay for any art ever, so I
am not a proponent at all. True. I just do that for me selfishly. That's only for me. Everyone else has to pay.
I used to be on that, but then I started making exceptions. Like when I pirated Undertale because I was mad that Toby Fox didn't retweet my fucking fan art. But then I ended up liking Undertale so much that I went and bought it on Steam anyway, even though I'd already played it and beaten it, just out of guilt.
Ben, when was the last time you bought a game that costed more than $15?
Well, I mean, that's not a fair question because I have not played a game that costs more than $15 in years and years.
I wouldn't know when
Listen to this. I just yesterday bought Shovel Knight on my Switch because I had 100%ed Shovel Knight years ago, but I like that game so much, and there's new modes. And so I bought it specifically for the convenience of playing on my Switch, which is the greatest thing in the world. Every other console is garbage.
PSP sponsored by Nintendo.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's fucking great. So I paid for that because there was it was the only way I could play it on my Switch, and I did it because I had no choice. If I'd been able to torrent that shit and play it on my Switch like for free, I would have done that because that's easier. So I'm saying, people, force me to pay for things. That's what you got to do.
I cherish the time when I get to pay for something. Whenever I get like some throwaway, like I always just save money, but when I get throwaway money, I'm like, finally, I can buy that fucking Bandcamp album I've wanted to buy for a long time. And then I can get in fucking Flack, bro! Fuck yeah, Flack!
You're morally clean.
Flack.
Alright,
we're not even really answering the question. I don't think any of us has a problem with people watching our shit without being patrons.
It's fine.
I want to clarify. I want to clarify my stance. My stance on paying for art is not that you shouldn't pay for art. My stance is that you shouldn't pay for art that you don't care about. And I just happen not to care about any art, especially not my own. So that's why I don't pay for
questions
anything.
now?
Yeah, we're in questions.
Okay. Yeah, my stance on paying for art is if you can do things to the general...
That's not really the question.
Oh, really? Oh, shit. I went to pee for a minute, so I missed the question.
No matter. Let's just go to the next one here. Okay, this guy's been asking this question for, like, I think weeks now, so let's just do him the favor of responding, because it's really simple. What's your favorite colors? Asks at Spidey Juice. It's like a picture that he made. So
black and
white.
Say
your favorite
black
color.
and blue.
Crush them. Crush them.
Yes.
There you go. Purple. Purple's my favorite color.
Oh, me too. My thing is, my favorite color is every color from red to blue. All of the in-betweens. Sure. Everything.
Well, that's actually a pretty good answer, Munchie.
Oh my god, that's a good answer. I picked the same.
I know I have to do something like that. Honestly, I'm into every color right now, so
my favorite color is everything on the
right
entire color wheel, but with the saturation turned all the way down.
No, man, we can't be friends anymore.
Colors are overrated.
I think my favorite, aside from red to blue, would be like also anything on any what's the word, shade of red, like pink or
yeah.
like
I send that to me. That too. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, hopefully that was enough. Because guys, we got it. This is a fascinating question. This is another one from @SizWhiteScum69, and this man needs help. All right, listen to this. At a super Christian wedding right now, what can I do to have a good time? Well, this man needs advice. How can he have a good time?
Because it's gonna be a week
Oh
later.
fuck! I forgot.
Just drink all the sacramental wine.
Yeah, that's the thing to do.
Find
Get
alcohol.
wasted. Just do everything you can to make everyone regret inviting you. That's what I would do.
Give us another question. That guy's is out of date. He should have thought about the fact that it wouldn't get to him for a week.
You're
just
right
tell
about
everyone there that Bernie would have won.
Well,
yeah. Well, no, because nothing can win against Hillary. Hillary is perfect. She is.
Oh, how are you
immortal.
enjoying that pop-out stand thing?
My pop-out stand is the greatest thing in my life right now. It's bigger than me. It's huge. It's massive. And I gotta tell you, she's been standing behind me for days now. Every fucking time I turn around, I jump because she's just looking at me. She's just looking at me with that fucking smile on her face.
Oh, man.
Who
it's
knows?
funny 'cause
I don't know, man.
There's actually an old photo of me with an Obama cutout from like 4 years ago because we went to this one like catfish restaurant owned by like a black family, and they have an Obama room.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like an entire
Is this like a
Obama
good
room.
Obama room or a bad Obama room? Where are they
It's
going
a
with
good
this?
Obama room. It's a
Okay.
black family who owns a business. It's
Nate,
an
I
Obama
see.
room.
Nate, we gotta get a picture of Hillary, your Hillary cutout with my elated Arab gentleman.
People have been
Oh,
tweeting
shit.
about
There needs
that.
to be a
We
meeting of the
definitely need that.
minds.
Next time, we'll make sure that happens.
Yeah.
I just
Nice.
imagine Nate has the same relationship that Dave does with the little cow.
Yeah, that's exactly right. She's constantly up in my shit, moving
Yeah.
around, spazzing out, doing
look,
crazy
looking
fucking...
at you with that knowing look, because she knows how to fix America.
And she is, in fact, puppeted by the speed of light moving actual Hillary Clinton around my room, just manipulating her, moving her every time I blink. That's what's happening. Okay, here we go. This is a juicy question, all right? Here we go. @PopVulture asks, rank every race from best to worst on how hot the women
Oh, well, that's
are.
easy. That's easy.
Yeah.
The Pokemon race, the
Pokemon
Dark Souls
race.
race,
Yeah.
and then the Kirby race.
Kirby is last? Where Kirby's got to be first. They're the
Kirby's
hottest.
not first.
Yeah,
What's his name?
yeah. Nate, you
saying?
really phoned it in on that Kirby race. People were disappointed.
Yeah, I was actually reading those replies today. They were disappointed. But I don't have fucking time to do all this shit.
That wasn't the problem.
It's either that or
The
nothing.
problem is that we didn't have enough people. Because if it was just 3 people, it's just lame. We need to have like 5 people at least.
Yeah, you
or,
need
like,
to have
4.
someone who sucks ass so that the show lasts long enough for everybody to
Exactly.
discuss
You
their
really,
strategies.
you really kind of do need 2 people who really care. And
You
are,
need
like,
you need at least 2 people who are real competitors.
And what the problem was, there was really only one real competitor on
Yeah,
that one. So
yeah.
you know, it's true. It's true. So yeah, there you go. Nah, it's a shitty one. No, these are all shitty questions. Are any of these fucking good? No. Oh no, I'm just responding to how bad all your questions are.
God.
People. Get the fuck out of
We've
here.
got the best fans.
Here we go, guys. Here we go. Benjamin Whistle asks, is Nicolas Cage the worst or best actor ever? Fucking Benjamin,
Fuck, you
what
stupid
the fuck?
retard.
Benjamin
the
Whistle,
worst.
Benjamin Whistle, you're a fine bloke, but get this meme shit out of here.
All right. Can I just find one decent question? No, these are all
Why
bad.
don't we not have fans? Asked by Munchie.
Here's a good question. Who's better?
Okay.
What's a better show? Kill La Kill or Hey Arnold? Wait, we already answered that question, and you can find the answer by listening to our bonus episode.
Bonus
Oh my god!
If you donate $5 to the Procrastinators Patreon, you get access to no less than 3 bonus episodes.
There's 4 now. That
Four.
was
Bonus
Four.
episodes. The 4th of which is a discussion on whether Kill La Kill or Hey Arnold is better. I'm there, Devue's there, Nate's there, Jesse's there, and Hippo's there. It's a good
Almost
Not
there.
only
It was
that,
kinda
not only
there.
that, gentlemen. Not only
Oh, yeah,
that, you
Hippo's-
get access to all those bonus
Hippo's
episodes. You
spiritually
get access
there.
to the fucking sick as fuck aesthetic Patreon lounge.
So
get this
true.
exclusive PCP Patreon lounge Discord chat room where you can chill with all your favorite characters like Nate, best guy ever, or Munchie, or
Yeah.
Donald Trump. All of them here in the chat, ready to talk and chat with you.
Yeah, Nate and Munchie
to talk-
actually
you can spill all of
posted
your
there.
personal
We
problems.
do.
Yeah.
We do.
No one else.
I forgot about that Discord. Yeah.
And so there you go, folks. There's that, and don't forget, what is it? Redbubble.com/people/procrastinators or whatever. The link's in the description. You remember? Buy our shit. It's all there. There's the other store. The print all over me. There you go, folks. Everything you could fucking want. So go buy our shit.
Don't buy a house. Your ex-wife will take it from you in the divorce. Exactly. I shouldn't have gone. I should have gone to prenup. No!
You ain't no punk. Holla, we want prenup.
We want prenup.
Yeah.
We want prenup.
It's something that you need to have, because if you leave your ass, you gonna leave with half.
Leave with half.
All right, fucking enough.
Wait, do we have another question? Did you ever find a good one?
No, I didn't. I was just going to end it there. I was just going to fade out
everybody,
right
bye.
So long.
I'm supposed to be working right now. I'm supposed to